Hi, Zizaran here, and with another harvest video. I wanted to do like a craft the build for the jug that I had that I died, because I know a lot of people are playing builds like this, and I can go a little bit more in depth. This build died. I'm very sad about it. It's very tanky. I played pretty badly and got a little bit cocky, and also made some, in my opinion, bad decisions. I tried to stay non-bleed because I didn't really have a bleed weapon, and I got a little bit greedy and didn't want to try impale for whatever reason. Just poor life choices. Um, yeah, I basically ended up dying to a Veritania, who is incredibly dangerous. I had fairly low damage at the end there. Let's see. I can show the rip. Here's this one. There we go. So obviously, like, Veritania isn't a particularly nice fight for melee. And even worse so, I think I had like 1 million DPS or something. But even worse so when you have less DPS than you ideally want, and you don't get that much like damage uptime. I'm pretty just I hate Veritania. I'm just bad at it, dude. I'm just terrible. So it's kind of frustrating. And this is actually a pretty tanky character. And I'll go over the defenses we had in a second. Now, obviously, I had to run away. Somebody asked like why I didn't really stay in, because I didn't want to die to these. They are rippy, and I've died to them before. Um, but here she. It's just such a stupid fight as melee. Here she one shots me. So we can talk a little bit about the defenses the character had, and obviously Veritania's. This is something I'm kind of unhappy with, but both Veritania and Baron's auto attacks being kind of the most dangerous part of the fight is something I'm not happy about. I prefer when it's like their actual abilities and not their default attacks. But anyway, that doesn't really matter. Let's talk a little bit about the defenses of the character, and then I'll go over the gear and how to craft it. And this is my Slam character, 5.7k life, and it usually has 7 endurance charges. And then we are using something called Divine Flesh from Glorious Vanity. And this is something that makes your character extremely tanky, particularly towards elemental damage. And obviously, that is part of what we're struggling with, because we're kind of immortal to Fizz, right? You're a Juggernaut. We have, let's look at the ascendancies, right? We have Unrelenting, so we have loads there, and also further elemental damage production there. We have Unbreakable, which is just global flat reduction damage taken, decent armor, and like it's just a lot of nice things. We didn't have Unstoppable or Undeniable, but yeah. So how does this work? Well, and actually, let's see. I need full endurance charges for this, which I have on Control T. But yeah, with full endurance charges, because I was mostly mapping, and in the boss fights and stuff, there was nothing that was going to remove my endurance charges, and I was pretty like careful with having them up. So with all my endurance charges up, which is taking a while, I have 89% chaos stress. And I did have a different chest if I was going to do like Awakener and stuff like that, which is what the purpose of this character was going to be. But you can see that like I have 77, 76, 76, 89. And that is what I want to talk about and explain a little bit, because this is a really cool defense mechanic that is fairly complicated and not a lot of people know about. So this is the timeless jewel. What this does is like the number will change all the smaller nodes and the notables. And you can see that they're changed. So this is now Cult of Chaos. This is random depending on the number where it ends up. But Cult of Chaos is really, really nice. +1 max Chaos Rest and 13 Chaos Resistance. Divine Flesh is all damage taken bypasses Energy Shield. 50% of elemental damage taken is Chaos damage, and +10 max Chaos Rest. So then with Born of Chaos as well, we can get 89% Chaos Rest. And it's not too hard to get 90% by having like a second one. And then that means that when you're taking, fire, cold, or lightning damage, half of that damage is going to be taken against your then 89% Chaos Rest. And this is even stronger than it sounds, because it also works on degens, which a lot of like damage taken as is usually hits. So, it wouldn't be degens, but the Xibaqua thing or Divine Flesh is hits and degens. So extremely strong, especially for when the bosses have penetration. So, for example, Shaper or Shaper in the Uber Elder fight, or Uber Ziri, and a couple other fights as well, have penetration. And I can't remember exactly how much it is. I think it's 20 or 25. And that means if you have 75% resist it means that you have 50 basically against that boss. And normally, like the way those bosses work is that the damage is scaled. Like obviously, it's very dangerous, but it's scaled like expecting you to get penetrated against. But what that means is when we do have something like Divine Flesh, those attacks do very little damage because then they're being taken against 89 Chaos Risk and not getting the penetration on the entire attack. And then if you do like something like an additional talisman and you have all of your cold damage is taken as fire, then it just you can stand in the Shaper Balls. They do nothing. So it's a really, really cool defense. Now, obviously, it's like kind of annoying to get Chaos Rest. This helps a lot with this, especially if you have 3 passive skills. I didn't have one, so I had to have a little bit more intense gear. But yeah, you can see here I have Fire and Cold and Chaos Rest, and then 3 Max Chaos. And then on this one, like for example, if you ever use a Chaos Augment on a cluster jewel, the only thing on most of them that it can get is Chaos Resist. So that helped a little bit there. I got an additional 6% Chaos Resist here, 10% here, and then we'll look at the gear too. But obviously, it's a lot of just like Chaos and Resist crafts. And I have a pretty shitty chest. This was mostly just to help with clearing, but we'll talk a little bit about each individual piece and how to craft it too. But yeah, very, very tanky character. So I am shocked, I guess, that it did get the one shot by that. Even though I don't have that much life, we have like crazy mitigation and we have fortify, we have all the drug stuff. So there is very little stuff that kills these characters, especially when they do get to 7k life. I don't think I've ever had a like Xibaqua tank, like I like to call it, with 7k life or more dying. Definitely Veritania and Baran are some of the things that can kill it because of the AoE overlapping they have. So, let's look a little bit about the gear. This, you're not going to get these. This is just very random. I found them in Delve, and I thought they were just, like, cool. These are basically from, like, a Delve physical node. I don't think I have any here, but it's, like, contains physical items. I didn't even know they existed until this league. They could get Corrupting Blood Immune on gloves, but it saved me getting Corrupting Blood Immune on a jewel, and I just thought it was like pretty cool. So I was like, cool, let's use those. And they have like life and resist, so why not? Other than that, I think I would just have like general life and resist gloves. You could do Warlord Culling Strike gloves, but yeah, life and resist with like just spamming the life mod from Harvest is what I would do for this. The belt as well, very simple. I would just grab a Stygian vise, and then so there's a couple of options here. You can spam the roll chaos items, because if you are playing a melee build, you might not have like a good use for the roll additional chaos rolls from Harvest. You could also roll either the resist ones or let's like fire modifiers, cold modifiers, anything like that, and just hope that you're getting sort of like a chaos roll that turns out nice and something similar to this. And you also could just spam the life mod one, and then to get chaos resist on it, you just do try to find a augment chaos, and the only thing it can hit is the chaos resist. If you get a low one, and what I ended up doing, because the first one here hit like 12 or something, and then I did remove chaos, add chaos until I got at least 20 plus. So it's a lot easier to craft the chaos resist gear than it has been before. The boots, these were kind of cool, and it's pretty great to actually make easy boots this league. What I did on this was I used a deafening essence of zeal, and then I don't think I hit anything else except for the cold resist. I think I had cold resist, rarity, and like percentage defense. So I did the remove defense, and then I did augment cold. No, wait, the cold was already on it. I'm trying to remember. It's hard, but and then I did augment life twice to get the life and the hybrid. So it's a lot easier now to craft items from scratch. Obviously, like there will be like depends on how much time you play for how much access you'll have to these, but I want to like outline how I crafted my gear. And 2 stone boots is really, really nice on this build, because obviously getting enough resist, although cold's kind of overkill, but getting enough resist can be a pain. This ring as well, just very lucky. I found this actually. I'm pretty sure I found this very early in the league. Maybe I crafted it with harvest. Very, very heavy resist ring. See the Well, I guess I could have just had a heavy lightning ring. It's a little bit overkill, but it was so nice, and I really wanted to use it on a melee character because of the physical damage to attacks. Things like these are also surprisingly easy to craft this thing with like the augment cold, augment lightning. So one example, you could try to get life and high all resist and then augment all the other mods. So you do have like so much freedom with like the augments. Obviously, like getting the high rolls can take a while. The Warlord Amulet, this was pretty cool. Um Basically what I did here was I rolled Lucent Fossils until I hit Pride. Lucent Fossils are really good this league because a lot of the aura and mana mods like are way easier to roll with that. And then I think I did I think that the physical leech was on there by default. And then so was the mana on kill. And I think I had life leech or life regen. And I just did remove life mod, add life mod. They're very, very strong. But the only thing here I wanted was pride to try to fit another aura. I never ended up getting enough restoration to do that, but that was like part of my thought process in the future. Let's talk about the chest. This is a Crusader item level 85 chest, and if I didn't use this, I would probably just use a incursion chest. They're the ones that have like life and percentage life, and then they can also get an additional percentage life mod crafted on them, which is very strong. But if you do have access to item level 85 Crusader chest, these are extremely easy to make this league. I'm gonna bring up like the PoE mod thing as well here, so I can show you guys why they're so easy to make. But what you do is first you spam with jagged fossils or the like physical roll. If you hit the enemy's explode thing, that's great. You've already made the chest basically. But if we look here, let's tag on jagged. And then we look here on Crusader. You see that you have physical damage from hits taken as lightning. That's one of the prefixes. And then you have reflect is one of the other prefixes. And then you have one suffix with fist for damage reduction, right? So there are only 3 prefixes that are physical. And that means if I have reflect and physical damage taken as lightning, and I use augment physical, especially if the suffixes are full. But if I use so let's say it has like 28 strength, 20 lightning, and a crafted something, then it can only augment a prefix, and that has to be enemies you kill explode because it's the only last physical one left. So while these in the past have been incredibly hard to make, this thing so easy. It's incredibly easy to make. Then you can either use an annulment, and if it removes explode, well, you just augment fizz again, it's back on. If you get rid of reflect, that's the best case scenario because then the fizz is lightning. It's super easy to remove just by doing remove lightning mod. And then you have like 2 open prefixes, and you can augment life or craft life, whatever you want, right? There's so much choice here, and generally what I would do, I would augment life and then craft percentage life, and then you have a really really nice chest. So I think that's pretty cool. I'm very very excited that they are so easy to craft this league because they feel really good. I can like show it really quick here in just Blood Aqueduct so you can see how the explosion, and it removes the corpse. So anything like detonate dead, or anything that has anything to do with enemy corpses, and like the Del Skitter things that explode, their corpses are just gone. So you can see like you see it just like leaves an explosion, and that chains and gets scaled by any like generic physical damage stuff as well. AoE is pretty nice. Like if you have like increased AoE, generic AoE, I think that seems to affect it quite a lot, and I like having it. But yeah, that's the chest covered. Warlord ring, pretty easy to craft as well because there are no physical suffixes except for the vuln. So once you are augmenting, say you have like life and fist damage leeches mana is okay, or melee damage. Say like you filled up your prefixes and you augment physical, it has to hit vuln. So these are extremely easy to make. This one I actually spammed with fizz mods, just like I had like nothing else to really make it on. So or like to use that on. So I was just spamming fist mods and I hit that, and then I had like 30 life, 40 life, and I did remove life, add life until I get a high one. So much cool stuff you can do with harvest. And the helmet is it's just a life helmet. There's nothing special here. It's just a life helmet. It has strength, it's got life, it's got resist. That's pretty much it. Don't look at the enchant. The weapon. I have a couple of examples as well of other cool things to give us example on Soul Self on Hardcore that I want to show. But this one, they're so incredibly easy to make now with just spamming like the Reforged Harvest. This is a good example of something to look out for. I had flaring, attack speed, and like, bad hybrid, and just hitting flaring in a hybrid roll is pretty easy. And then it's very easy to force attack speed, because if you augment speed modifier, it's the only one you can only get attack speed, so it's incredibly easy. This is like, how much damage is this? I can't even remember. 410, 718, 141. So it's 795 without 30 quality, because this is only the 17 quality. So I could like bestiary craft 30 quality on it, and that would put it at 48, which would, I think it's 840 PDPS or something on this. And it's not fully divined either. So, it's incredible how easy like we can make crazy axes. And just by spamming physical, and obviously the multi-mod stuff, it makes it even easier. I want to like show some more examples of good axes that are worth like looking out for, because I feel like it's so incredibly easy not knowing what to look for. As far as bases, Val axes are pretty good, and Jade, is it Curry Chopper? Jade, or I think it's Curry Chopper is the best base. The easiest way, I'm sure how to find out what the bases are. You can like go to the wiki, axis, and then if we scroll down, you see all like the ones that are actually viable. I would say Void Axe is, I don't know, it's not even that great anymore. Despot Axe is really good because of how much like speed it has. So if you're like getting a lot of like flat added from rings and amulets, steel rings, stuff like that, they're more viable. Flash Ripper, really nice because of the crit implicit. Valax, all around pretty solid and has Maim on hit. And then the other one is Karui Chopper, has the highest DPS now, I think. Yeah, highest DPS, but incredibly slow. That means that it's really good for like very, very slow skills like Earthquake, and when you want to use Fist of War is what that's particularly good for. So pretty cool that there are different reasons to use different ones. But let's look at another Coronal Mole here. And all this like crafting is like very generic. It doesn't matter if it's a mace or an axe. But this is something that a lot of people would probably discard, or at least easily discard. Make sure like options, user interface, advanced mod descriptions. And once that's on, you can hold on Alt and get more information. So if you look here, it has Emperors and Tempered. And then it has damage over time, cold resist, and global accuracy mod. So this, what I could do right now, remove cold modifiers. Let's copy paste this, and this is just by Control C in the item in-game. Control C, and then we open Path of Building. Control V, boom, here. And then what I could do then, once I've removed the cold resist, is that I could, well, I don't even need to do that, but yeah, I could remove the cold resist very easily, and I'll show on the bench as well how to do this. Remove the cold resist, followed by doing prefixes cannot be changed, and then I can either annul and hope that I get rid of the what you call it, the accuracy. Hold on, I'm showing game actually on this. Hope that I get rid of the accuracy and light radius, or remove attack mods. Actually, yeah, remove attack mods guarantees it, because the damage over time mod is no tag. So if you want to like keep that for bleed, that's what you can do. Or you could also do prefixes cannot be changed, a scour, and then that will just keep the emperors and the tempered. Now let's see about just like crafting. So it would be physical. I would get 100 to 129 physical, and I would be able to craft attack speed and quality. Wait, let's search for quality. Attack speed and quality. Now in POB, you'll see that the quality is red, so it doesn't count. It doesn't show up, and this isn't going to be perfectly divine, but you do have to add the quality. So it would be up to 18, so that would look like 38. However, do remember that you can get either 30 or 28 quality really easy by using, if you do Hillock on transportation at level 3, that will guarantee 28 quality, doesn't reroll the item. Or if this is something you're crafting on from scratch, you can use perfect fossils. Remember that each perfect fossil is going to reroll the entire item, so you have to do this before crafting. But then you can max out 48 quality. So in this case, 46 while guaranteed. And you can also use the bestiary corrupt craft. This is going to corrupt the item, so make sure it's 6 synced and done divining before you do that. But yeah, 46 or 48 quality. So this as well 750 DPS, very very high, and pretty easy to craft. And like we've had several things like this. Thing is, I'm not like that keen on playing more melee. I'm probably going to do augment physical roll and just hope that it hits. Like if it hits merciless, this would be a bit of a beast. If it hits merciless, let's see what it would be. Just now, I'm curious. Prefixes. If this is merciless, which would be best case scenario, it would be 861. So like 100 more DPS than crafted. And then it's like, do I do another melee character? Maybe. But yeah, there's like quite a lot to look out for there. And obviously just having like a merciless roll as well on its own is like pretty easy to work with multi-modding. You can grab the flat added and then attack speed and quality. And then you can do augment physical and hope they hit like emperors or dictators or something like that. So that were some like good example of crafts to do for the marauder there on all the cluster jewels and stuff. There wasn't like anything super special I did. I think I just spammed fizz mods until I got something that was decent. I would say the ones that was on mine was Iron Breaker is really good and Force Multiplier. Was happy to get those two, and Exploit Weakness was just whatever. And it's just spammed fizz mods for these. I hope these helps. I hope you're enjoying the craft the build guides and like just like additional harvest crafting help that I'm trying to do. And yeah, trying to like help people learn the game more. So let me know if you like the videos in the comments down below, and hope you guys are having fun in Harvest. Thanks for watching. Try to die less than I do.